It's a gloomy, gloomy day here, but I'm hoping to brighten it up with some interesting thoughts for the week. Um, I'm going to continue a little bit just because I was working on the silent meditation and the kind of days of silent retreat that I was doing a little class with and exploring, and it's been really interesting. So I had a few thoughts about sort of the stories that run in our head and what we can do with that. So I noticed when I was doing the silent retreat where you do an hour or two or a full day of just silence, it these stories show up in my head, and I was quiet, I was with myself, and it wasn't necessarily a bad story. It was just this like running story that I is always there, but I hadn't really listened to it. And it could be good or bad, right? The story, it's kind of like a narration of a movie or something. The story could be something great, like I'm gonna go to the movie. So it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the movie. I'm gonna get some Twizzlers. I'm really excited, and this will be really fun and cozy because it's a gloomy day, and I'm really looking forward to it. And so this was like going in my head, which is one direction, right? It's fun. You get excited about something, kind of visualize it, or it can be not so great, like these scenarios where I go to the movie, but the line's going to be long probably, and I hope they made fresh popcorn. If they haven't, it's going to be a bummer. And then, I mean, I hope it's a good movie. If it's not, I'm gonna have wasted like $20. But, oh well, I'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. So there's these two completely different stories that you could have running. But what was interesting that I discovered is how much I interrupt myself. So I might start with the good story and then interrupt myself and throw in the bad story, which is really interesting. I'm excited about the movie. It's gonna be really fun. I'm looking forward to getting some Twizzlers. I wonder what time to get there. I hope it's not too much of a line. It's Sunday. It could be busy. Um, yeah, so that was interesting to see kind of how I constantly interrupt my own thoughts, which led me to think about how many times I interrupt other people's thoughts, which I know I do because John reminds me all the time. So it's just the way our brains are working. So that's something I've discovered with the silent meditation. It's been just really eye-opening when you have the quiet to notice what the stories are, whether they're like a positive or a negative. I mean, either way is fine. But the lesson that I took away was, wow, I could actually interrupt these stories in a way that I want to interrupt them, right? So I just naturally am interrupting myself and sending the story on a different path. When, if I pay attention, I can notice it and be like, hey, let's not go down the negative path of the story. Keep the good one going. Or if they have the negative, well, let's look at a different path to go. And so you can change the whole story just in an instant if you pay attention, which is the secret of kind of the silence and understanding how to like be in yourself and your brain. So that was a good learning for me. I'm going to try that as I go through this week to listen for the stories that are running, and then how do they feel? Do they feel good? Do they feel bad? And then I can instantly switch them to like a good feeling. I think that would be very cool. So that is the story for today. Is listen. See if you can hear your stories, see if you can flip them. It's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, but I'm excited about trying it. And also it could be cool just maybe to keep a little tracker of like how many times you actually interrupt yourself in telling your own stories. Your stories in your head interrupt each other, which I think is fascinating. So I'm going to keep musing on that too. Have a beautiful week, and I'm excited that I got to chat with you today.